apartment property value is I was working with owners and sellers to source buyers so they could sell their properties. So I sold apartment buildings along the Gulf Coast, from Sarasota down to Naples, and then also the East Coast of Florida as well.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
What you guys help people in Florida, you are so far, right? So how come you
Yeah,
help people in Florida to do stuff? Tell me a little bit more about that.
absolutely. So I'm actually based in Indianapolis. My previous life was in Florida for about 5 years. Starting back in 2020, I worked with a lot of multifamily owners and operators, really all throughout Florida, which gave me a lot of knowledge that I've now taken back to my family's construction and development company here in Indianapolis. But what's going on here in Indianapolis is there's a ton of newfound development. Right now, the city of Indianapolis is probably the most vibrant I've seen it in the past 25 years. We've got about $28 billion of corporate investment, the investment happening all throughout the city, which is making the city of Indianapolis probably one of those meccas to invest in right now here in the Midwest. There's a ton of internal as well as out of state larger corporations that are moving campus headquarters here. A lot of employment growth is going on all throughout not only the state of Indiana, but also Indianapolis as well.
So you guys specialize in developing multifamilies, right?
Correct.
Um, this is individual houses or buildings.
Yeah, great question, Harry. So we're building, and our niche is really what's called middle market housing. So where you're seeing like large scale apartment buildings, and then you're seeing a lot of new single family home construction, which is rapidly expanding here in Indiana. We're that middle of the tranche. We're building duplexes and quadplex properties. Really, middle market housing is all about filling that void, filling that housing gap when it comes to the lack of supply, not just in Indianapolis, but really all throughout the lack of supply that you're seeing throughout the country.
Like the duplex, right? Because people can live in one and rent the other one. Is that correct? Let
Correct.
them
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yep.
You said also quadruples. Tell me, I want to know more about that one.
Yeah, we got three products that we're developing here and selling to investors as well as holding for our projects that we're raising equity for. But there's three different models that we build. There's two duplex models, and then there's also a quadplex model. So for investors that are looking to just get into the Indianapolis market, we build a two-bedroom, two-bathroom duplex, which is priced between 325 to 375. We've got a three-bedroom, two-bathroom duplex. That one's priced between 425 to 475. And then our quadplexes, which are four two-story, two-bedroom, two and a half bathroom units. More or less looks like four townhomes, all contiguous to each other. Those are priced between 750 to 850. And given we're building and holding these properties in all the neighborhoods that we're building and selling them to investors who may be listening here on the podcast, we're looking to deliver returns anywhere between 8 to 10% back to the investors that are purchasing these.
Wow. And so again, due diligence, Alex. So how do you know which one would be in a spot that actually is going to sell fast? Because at the end of the day, my first business was in property in London. I was doing rent to rent. We were renting the houses and then renting the units individually. But I'm telling you, that was 20 years ago. You look very young to me. You were very tiny, probably back then. So property is amazing in a way that there are different strategies. So your family have a legacy of being developers, right? And now you're taking the directorship of the company following your family legacy. So tell us what have been the biggest challenge and how you overcome the challenge.
Yeah, I would say the biggest challenge that's come up for us most recently has been bandwidth or roadblocks with construction. And really, what I mean by that is there's city obstacles, political obstacles that always have to be overcome when we're building, meaning we're applying for permits or we're applying for new build designs that we're building here in the city. Seemingly, something always pops up, whether it's from us being stalled to start construction or stalls that happen throughout the build, or anything of the sorts.
So why you decided property and continue the legacy of your family? You could choose anything else. Why you decided to continue? And even you left Florida, the good weather. How
I
come?
know.
To continue the family business, you should be very passionate about it.
Oh, I
So,
am.
or then your family told you you had to come here. That's it. We need you to take over.
Yeah,
Tell us what the
I always wanted to go outside of call it my family shadow and move out of the state, move away from my family to gain real world skills from management, from relationship building, from capital raising, whatever values or traits I can build upon and get better in to then go and bring back to my family's business. So it's a business I'm very passionate about. I've been around the real estate industry since I was really in diapers. My father had been investing in downtown Indianapolis now for over 25 years and started out buying up single family homes and renovating them and holding them in his own portfolio to now we're building and providing housing to the residents of Indianapolis as well as some other surrounding municipalities that we've now expanded into.
so tell us about the projects. How long it's gonna take to how long it takes to deliver the project. So you guys are purchasing the land and then deciding what to build on that land. How long it takes the whole process?
Yeah, the whole process from start to finish, call it from us going and buying that land to get it shovel ready so we can build that duplex or quadplex on it. On the infill sites that we're buying and selling one-off duplexes or quadplexes, it takes us about 4 to 6 months from start to finish, which is pretty quick. And then as far as the projects that we're building, now in Indianapolis and greater Indianapolis, which would be between 25 to 150 units, more or less like a subdivision of for rent housing is what it would look like. Those projects are turned around within 18 to 24 months from buying the land to entitling and developing the land to get it build ready and then all the way through lease up. We're getting
So,
them leased out in about 24 months.
so how many units? These ones?
These are 25 to 150. So,
Wow, 150 units. It sounds to me like a big project, yeah? You guys
yeah,
can
those are,
you handle this? Have you done it before?
we have, yeah, we're full service. So, we've got in-house leasing, we've got in-house construction team, we've got really everything from
Wow.
start to finish.
So how many projects do you have now in the pipeline?
Right now, we've got three projects in the pipeline between that 25 to 150 unit um, project, call it, through in Indianapolis. We've got some in a city called Muncie, and then another city called Fort Wayne, where we're building and developing those. They're build to rent communities, is what they are.
So tell us what is the biggest lesson that you learned from your father?
My
Why do you
father,
choose and why do you choose real estate?
yeah, so the biggest lesson I've learned from my father is really the ability to pivot. Nothing's gonna always go as planned, or nothing will ever go as planned. So having the ability to pivot and making the most of that opportunity that you've got in front of you. I would say is the biggest piece of advice or life advice, because being an entrepreneur, being in the real estate industry, there's always obstacles at all different layers or levels that you've got to overcome to get towards your end goal. So having the ability to pivot, I would say. And then as far as my passion for real estate, it was really developed when I was a kid. I had mentioned my dad had been buying houses in the city and fixing them up. As part of the crew that he brought in to fix up those houses, it was me and my two other brothers. So whether it's doing clean outs, whether it's painting walls or doing a total renovation on a kitchen or a bathroom or whatnot, we were always involved in that process from an early age.
So your other two brothers also are with the family, or they move away?
Nope, they're with the family as well. So they're right here in the office with me. Got a
Oh
brother on
wow,
the
they're literally a
construction side.
family business.
Yeah, it is. So they're one of my brothers, my younger brother, he's on the construction side, and then my older brother, he's on the accounting finance side of the company.
So tell us about your past life in Florida. What you were doing in Florida, and what do you learn that can be applied where you are now?
Yes, past life in Florida. I moved down there during COVID after I had graduated from college. I worked for a larger commercial brokerage for about 3.5 years and sold multifamily apartment buildings. It was in the private capital airspace, so the $5 to $25 million apartment property value is. I was working with owners and sellers to source buyers so they could sell their properties. So I sold apartment buildings along the Gulf Coast, from Sarasota down to Naples, and then also the East Coast of Florida as well. And that gave me a really good perspective when it came to talking to owners of larger apartment projects, learning from them how they got into owning that asset, what it looks like from a management perspective day in and day out, and really how they had added value to that property to get to where they are now, in owning a $5 to $25 million apartment building.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.